Hey, welcome back to another ballistics gel test. Today we have gone big bore. We are shooting Hornady American Whitetail 245 grain soft point and 450 Bushmaster. And here is a look at the box of that 450 Bushmaster Hornady American Whitetail. Let's flip it over to the back. Here's all of your promo info. You can pause and read all that if you would like to. Here's your factory stated velocity info right here. Let's go ahead and open the box up and see what the ammo looks like, just as sort of a quality check, see what you can expect off the shelf. And per standard, Hornady brass and cartridges usually are pretty darn clean with good looking brass. And here it is, your big old fat soft point. Let's see how it does. And my test rifle today is my Ruger American Ranch, chambered in 450 Bushmaster, of course. It's got a 16-inch barrel. Up top, I've got a Vortex Crossfire 2 scope. And coming on back, I've got one of my handmade leather cartridge cuffs. Check out my website, masonleather.com. I would love to make you one. I will link it in the description and in the pinned comment. And over here, I've got my wild boar design. We'll be taking 3 shots from 100 yards, firing into 10% ballistics gel that has been calibrated to meet the FBI's ballistics testing protocol. And while ballistics gel isn't an exact proxy for big game, it does provide a repeatable medium through which to test various bullets and ammo against each other. After the shots, we'll examine bullet expansion, weight retention, penetration, and velocity. My goal is to provide hunters like you and I with the most objective information possible to help us make the best choice for our particular hunting situation. The ballistics gel in this video has been sourced from Clear Ballistics. You can find a link in the description. So let's go ahead and shoot it. And we are down here at the blocks after shooting that Hornady American Whitetail 245 grain out of the 450 Bushmaster. And we have some very strange and interesting results. I was not expecting this. So looking at the first block, this is 3 bullets in here. The fragments of 3 entire bullets hit the first block, went in, penetrated to about somewhere between the 10 and 15 inch mark. And all 3 bullets broke up and fragmented within the first block before they even made it really to the 15-inch mark. Very surprising. And then I wound up firing 4 shots because one of my bullets went in. It did penetrate into the second block. It exited out right here. I think went into the table right here in this hole, came back up out of the table. And then look at this. I have my target stand back here, and this hole was not here. And so inside this, buried in the plywood back there, is actually the remnants of that bullet that did somehow make it into the second block, but we're not going to count that one. We have 3 right here. That one hit both the table and my wooden stand, so it's not really a good test case. We're going to dig all this out and take a look. And let's take a look at the velocities for that Hornady American Whitetail 245 grain soft point out of the 450 Bushmaster. Our high was 2294. Our low was 2271, and our average was 2283. So these were screaming along substantially faster than the spec on the box. The box spec is 2200 feet per second at the muzzle. All right, y'all, take a look at this absolute mess. What we are looking at here are all the recovered parts from that Hornady American Whitetail 245 grain soft point out of the 450 Bushmaster. I think this might just be the biggest catastrophic fail of any ammo I have tested so far of any caliber. Absolutely horrendous performance. These things completely blew up on impact. I mean, if you recall back to looking at the gel blocks, they got very little penetration. They just blew up. I mean, this would definitely make a mess of Bambi, that's for sure. But I don't know if I want to use it. We'll go ahead and hit what little metrics there are to talk about. Weight retention, who knows? Who knows? This thing blew up into a whole bunch of pieces. I'm not going to bother weighing the heaviest ones. This was a total fail. Expanded diameter, again, who the heck knows? I don't really care. That big chunk of brass down there on the bottom right is pretty big, but it also doesn't weigh hardly anything. I didn't bother weighing the bits and pieces of this. Velocity wise, our high was 2294, our low was 2271 for an average of 2283, and versus the factory build velocity of 2200 feet per second, these things were freaking cooking along. These were hot. We came in 83 feet per second faster than the build velocity on average. And then on to penetration, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up. Somewhere in the 10 to 15 inch range is where most of these chunks were recovered from. Absolutely horrendous. All right, y'all, time for final thoughts, and this is going to be one of the easiest final thoughts I've ever done for that Hornady American Whitetail 245 grain soft point load out of the 450 Bushmaster. I mean, I can wrap it up really in one phrase: absolute catastrophic fail. This stuff failed harder than any other load I have tested so far, bar none. This stuff did horrible. Now, that's not to say that if you were to pick up a different box, it wouldn't do something totally different. But if it did, that points to other issues, inconsistency. But the 3 rounds I fired all completely exploded on impact. You saw the bullet fragments. They blew up in the gel. They didn't penetrate. That is not what this stuff is supposed to do. It's a 245 grain soft point. I would have expected it to hit, penetrate, mushroom some, and go kind of deep for what it is. That's not what happened. This stuff acted like a varmint bullet. If you're looking to absolutely rip a coyote in half, this might be the ticket. So as far as weight retention goes, who knows? As far as expansion goes, who knows? It was a grenade. As far as velocity goes, that's really the only thing that we can talk about. And it was going really, really fast. We averaged 83 feet per second faster than the factory spec. So no doubt that it's hitting hard. It definitely is. With a 245 grain bullet averaging 2,283 feet per second, we're looking at 2,836 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. And for 450 Bushmaster, from the loads I've tested so far, some of those videos aren't out yet, but they will be very soon. They sort of hover around the 2,600 foot-pound mark for kinetic energy. This was quite a bit higher than that. This is one of the more, powerful 450 Bushmaster loads I've tested, and that kind of showed with the bullet exploding into a whole bunch of pieces. Penetration wise, again, kind of who knows. It was in a range between about 10 inches and 15 inches for all the different chunks of bullet. This is pretty bad. The performance of this load was absolutely horrendous. It's not good. All right, it's not good. And some people, no doubt, every time I post a video like this where all I'm doing is reporting the facts, all I'm doing is reporting the objective results of the test, it's all on video, none of it's made up, people still want to say things in the comments like, maybe it was a bad batch, get another box. I got the one box that was in, really, if I got one that was a bad batch, so did, 20,000 other people or some crazy number. How many people are going to have a bad batch cartridge in their chamber this season and take a shot on game? I mean, would this load have killed a deer? Shoot, if it doesn't, I'd be surprised. It's going to take out the whole frickin' chest cavity, blow the front shoulder apart, everything. But it's not good performance. That's not what it's designed to do. But again, I digress. I'm a little bit heated about this because it's so ridiculous. There's going to be people in the comments saying, oh, you should test another box. No, I'm not going to do that, because what if this was the box that you bought and it's what you're shooting at game and it, is horrible. It is what it is. All I'm doing is reporting the results as they occurred. Your results may vary. These are the results that I got. There you go. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, check out my website, masonleather.com, and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. The link is in the video description. And check out my channel for more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests. I have some big news. Lots of you have emailed me or commented how much value you get out of my videos. And you've asked me, how can you be a part of this and help support the channel? Well, I got to work and now I have a way. I've created a Patreon account where you can join me in helping our fellow hunters. Click the link in this video's description and watch my Patreon welcome video, where I describe to you how your help will impact this channel and our community of hunters as a whole. And when you join me on Patreon, you'll get a lot more than I can give you here on YouTube. You'll have to go watch that welcome video linked in the description to find out the details. I'll see you there.